Hi, I'm Angel, and today I'm going to be reviewing 2018's Annihilation, or Annihilation, depending on how you pronounce it. The movie is written and directed by Alex Garland, and he is kind of a big name in sci-fi. He wrote The Beach, first of all. He's also known for 28 Days Later, and recently Ex Machina. I appreciated all of those movies, and I heard a reviewer say if you like sci-fi and good thought-provoking movies, go see this movie. I think I saw pieces of a trailer once. I jumped in, eyes wide shut, and you know what? I'm happy I did. The movie is not without flaws, but it really is an enjoyable sci-fi movie experience, and I loved going into it with as little information as possible because it kept it suspenseful and intriguing throughout. So I don't want to give you too much. There's going to be a very long spoiler segment in this review if you really want to dissect it. How to review this movie without getting into any details. It reminded me a lot of Arrival at times. I think Arrival did a lot of things better, wrapping up the movie with answers rather than questions. It had a similar tone, a similar feel, a similar subject matter. It also kind of reminded me of the Cloverfield paradox in the character interactions, and it really reminded me of the video game The Last of Us in the visuals and the atmosphere and the scenes that we're in. So if you like any of those that I mentioned, I think you're gonna like this movie. Natalie Portman is our main character, and she does a great job. But this movie isn't really about the performances, it's really about the story, the intrigue. It also reminded me of M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. I actually appreciated it. I think I'm one of the rare only people who loved the movie and the concept. I thought it was genius, but my point is that this movie can be compared to so many sci-fi thriller movies. I'm a person who likes to use my noggin during a movie, and I left this like, I feel like I'm maybe not smart enough to understand this movie. I should have gone into this movie with a biologist and a theoretical physicist sitting side by side so that they could explain certain things to me, clarify certain things, and answer my questions. But then again, is this movie really as smart as it posits? Or are there actually big holes in it, and that's why you have so many questions? And Ovela and I left the theater just going back and forth and, this didn't make sense, and did that make sense, and why did this happen? Maybe it's because of that. And if you have nerdy friends, bring them because they might be useful in answering some questions. The movie gets kind of scary and creepy at times. Not very bloody, minimally bloody. So if you're a person who's sensitive to that, I just want to let you know. The end made me super uncomfortable in a good way, in the sense that the movie achieved what it was trying to do. But it's not like a scary movie, so chill. Just go watch it. You'll enjoy it if you like good story, good intrigue. I really can't say more about it without spoiling it, and I don't want to spoil your experience, so I'm gonna go into the spoiler segment now. Like I said, if you like The Last of Us, Arrival, science fiction movies, post-apocalyptic movies, intrigue, go watch this movie. If you're gonna go now, before you go, click on the like button, subscribe to Music Game News, turn on that notification bell, and make more requests in the comment section. Cheers.
The spoils.
I don't even know where to begin. Let's dissect this. Okay, first thing, the cast. Let's talk about the acting. Everybody did a good job portraying their characters. I was kind of confused about Gina Rodriguez's character. First of all, I love this actress. She's one of my favorite actresses. I watched Jane the Virgin religiously, no pun intended, and I adore her. So she's such a sweetheart and presents herself as such. But the arc in her character, I don't know if it was the acting that was off or the casting, I think, was off. It wasn't credible enough. I just feel like they should have cast someone else. It didn't really work for me. I think Jason Leigh as Dr. Ventress did a fantastic job. She was the right character that you needed in this type of movie. Cold, seemingly bitter, hard to read, like a darkness in her that just fits. I couldn't really read Natalie Portman as a person in this movie, but I liked the way she reacted to the situations. I didn't really get her. I think her scenes with Oscar Isaac Kane were natural and good. They had a good chemistry. I believed her love for him. But see, that little love affair she had with her coworker, first of all, that was useless to the story. Unnecessary. Why did we have to see that sex scene like 2 times? The dialogue that they had was terrible. It felt like a Kanye West music video. That seems like I'm insulting Kanye, but I'm not. What I mean is Runaway, I believe it was. He had that dialogue with that bird girl. And it was meant to be artistic, right? It wasn't meant to be a movie script. It wasn't realistic in the dialogue. It was artistic. And that's how I felt their interaction was here. Natalie Portman and him. The sentences they spoke to each other didn't make any sense. It felt so unnatural and useless. They could have cut all of that out and developed the relationship between Ina and Kane more. That would have been more enjoyable and more useful. I also had issue with the dialogue when we had those scenes between Benedict Wong and Natalie Portman, and he had the hazmat suit and all and asking her all these questions. Some of the questions didn't make sense and the dialogue just felt sometimes a bit wonky and felt like they were just setting it up for exposition. For example, when he asks about Dr. Ventress, Natalie Portman's character says something and he says, well, she was never going to come back because she had cancer. That didn't feel like something that he would say in this moment. It felt like something he said to let the audience know. Oh, by the way, this character had cancer. That scene felt like exposition. Okay, now let's talk about the sci-fi aspects. So they go into the shimmer. Ovela had this interesting suggestion. They're trying to go in to collect data and find out things. Why don't they go in a little bit and come back out? That was my first reaction too. When the girls, first of all, hello, talk about Ghostbusters, but better. When they approached the shimmer, I thought the first thing to do would be put your left hand in, put your left hand out and shake it all about. Just to see if you can enter the shimmer and exit the shimmer. Maybe go in a little bit, collect surface data, come back out, study that stuff. Had they done that, it wasn't clear whether they did or not. It sounds like every single mission they had was like, get to the lighthouse and come back. It's like, why don't we just go in a little bit and come back out? Can't we maybe scoop up some of the shimmer if possible and see what that is? Like, little things. I then thought maybe they should have rope attached to them as they go in so that they can be pulled out if ever there's anything, find their way back. But then they did talk about how getting to the lighthouse would take days. So we're talking about maybe spanning a city. And yeah, I don't know if they would have rope that would be long enough. Then I thought, why did they have to go by foot? Did they try a helicopter, a tiny plane, a drone, a bicycle? There are things you could try. Why does it have to be by foot? Okay, sure, maybe the reason they didn't try technologies because it goes womp womp once it enters the shimmer. But it seemed like they didn't even know that because they had a whole bunch of equipment with them. So I thought, okay, so electronics do work, but they can't communicate with the outside world. It felt like they didn't really know what's going on, and by now you should know a little bit. It's been 3 years. And nobody's taking diary notes. This is what was frustrating for me. If I'm on a mission like this, the first thing I'm gonna do is detail every step of the way. Every time we take a break, I will be the one documenting everything in a diary and a vlog just in case one of these things gets back to the other side. If the next person comes along, if I do get lost, they will have my notes. They will see what's been happening, the progression of things, where we went. So I thought it was pretty frustrating that nobody did any vlogging, especially when we find footage. What do they film? Some vague scene of them cutting somebody open. What else do they film? Kane films himself blowing up. Kane, give us more backstory. Explain to the camera what's going on. Why are we not getting any information from these videos? Hello, they're there, so obviously you can use them. This is what you use them for. Didn't make sense. I love the concept here of refraction, that whatever is inside the shimmer is like inside of a prism, and so it's being refracted, right? But I had a really hard time figuring out what that would look like with a human. How do you refract a human? How do you refract DNA? Does it become D and then N and then A? Or whatever the strands of DNA are, is in like A, T, M, N or something like that. I completely forgot high school biology. Apologies. But I guess that's the obstacle here, right? That's what this movie is trying to do. It's trying to take a science fiction concept and explore it. And this is the theory, that this is what it would look like if DNA and life was refracted. All of the genes that we hold inside of us would be expressed in different ways. But I don't know, I feel like they didn't explore it enough. I could accept mutations, I could accept the different flowers and all, but certain things just, oh, my head is still like spinning from trying to make sense out of this. First of all, when she mentioned echoes, my first thought was, oh, you know that moment where all of the women wake up and they can't remember the last 3 days that they were inside of the shimmer at the exact same time? Like, how is that a thing? You don't forget your life. You forget the last 3 days, all of you at the same time, and that never happens again. I thought, oh, maybe they're the echoes. They're the echoes of the originals that popped up at this point in time 3 days later. And they're going to continue and maybe eventually run into either another echo or the original human. But no, that wasn't the concept that they were going for. Then we actually see that deer with a shadow deer, an echo deer mimicking it. I thought that would come back too, or we would see more of that. But that was the only time we saw an echo until the end. And then I was like, oh, was that an alien deer mimicking a real deer? Ah. And also the moment they said echo, I was like, ah, yes, Kane. You know, Men in Black Kane that just popped out of nowhere, doesn't remember how he got there and was speaking really weirdly. I was like, you're an echo. But I still didn't know exactly what that meant. I thought they were clones, DNA copies, because of the refraction, right? Oh, and now that I think about it, that means that that bear creature thing that had that girl's voice screaming, help me. Ooh, that was scary. That must have been maybe an alien too that took pieces of different DNA. So it was mimicking the girl at the same time as the bear, at the same time as whatever other creature it was. I could not tell. Was it a tiger, a claw, a beaver? But then that beckons a question. Is the whole shimmer the alien? All right, my mind is spinning. Let me slow down. Every time the topic of alien comes up, I've always been the person who's asked myself, are they like us? Are they carbon-based as mentioned in the movie? Are they maybe fourth dimensional so they can see us but we can't see them? Are they microbes? Do they have language? Would they have a head and arms and legs? Or would they be like completely different? Would they hover? Would they walk? Would they crawl? Like, I would try to imagine something unimaginable. And I feel like this is what this movie tried to do as well, which is what I really appreciated. That's kind of an impossible feat, right, for a movie to do. How do you depict something unimaginable? I think they did a pretty good job. So it did make me question, is the shimmer itself the alien? At first I thought, oh, it's Earth cancer. That's why everything is weird. This is what cancer would look like if Earth had it. My theory is that the shimmer is the alien, and that shimmer is particles, and it's mimicking everything around it, and it's duplicating, you know, the cells. It kept showing us cells in mitosis, right? Copying itself, copying itself. So I guess maybe that's what we were seeing. It was alien particles mimicking everything on Earth. Maybe the alien is a DNA. It could go into cells itself and mess with your cells. I didn't understand the plants growing in human form. The moment where Tessa Thompson is becoming Poison Ivy and she just walks into the fields and disappears, and all we see is like this garden of humanoid tree, plants, bushes, whatever you call them. I felt like they were suggesting that these were once people and they had converted into plants. But then I was like, where did their clothes go? Did the clothes also turn into flowers, or did people get naked before they froze? And if you're becoming a plant, wouldn't you lie down or, you know, scream or get into a fetal position and rock yourself like, oh my God, this is happening to me? They looked just like, okay, they were walking and boop, I'm a plant all of a sudden. So I'm leaning more towards the plant had the, what she said, the human architecture in it. So like I said, at the end, that humanoid creature, goopy flubber thing was so scary. It was beautiful in the shimmery metallic skin tone it had, but so creepy. It freaks me out. I'm already like afraid of aliens and the way they're depicted. Oh, so seeing it was so scary. I thought I would have nightmares for days. Luckily I didn't. But yeah, it was obvious that it was mimicking her. If she was afraid and acted with aggression, it would act with aggression back. It's like, you're fighting yourself, girl. Calm down. But I put myself in her shoes and I would have acted the same way. I would have been terrified. I would have been screaming the whole time. And that thing probably would have been screaming back at me. If I were her, I would have just like turned around, you know, and like tried to look if it's looking at me, and slowly crept towards the wall and inched myself towards the door. But maybe it wouldn't have worked. But she just like tried to bolt and with all her might open that door. And of course, with all its might, it tried to open the door at the exact same time as her. So that's why she felt all that pressure on her and it was crushing her. And the moment she gives it the grenade, why did it stop mimicking her? Ovela suggested that maybe it was busy trying to become her, so it wasn't paying attention. And I thought it was just trying to figure out what this thing was. I don't know what to do with this. Do I mimic this now or boom, kabloom? And when she left, I knew. I was like, first of all, you were in that hole when Dr. Ventress dematerialized. Her particles were all over the place. So they had to like enter your airways, through your nose, your ears, your eyes, your skin. There is no way she did not leave with a piece of alien or Ventress. She left and I was like, well, this is not over, obviously. Second thing, how is it that fire can destroy aliens? I thought if this thing is actually energy, particles, and matter, wouldn't it just eat the fire? Wouldn't it just create more of it, fuel it like a catalyst, and make it more matterish? I clearly don't have the academic background to make theories for this movie. I guess, like all things, fire can destroy everything and everyone. Fire is a bad mamma jamma. I just didn't expect it to destroy it and for those crystal trees to come crashing down. Oh, so the alien is like underground. It's in the earth. It's feeding the soil. That's why things are growing differently. So then the end, mutated Lena is back. Apparently she still has her memories, most of them. And she wants to see Kane, faux Kane. She don't care. I mean, who would? You get your bae back, even if it's not your bae, it's your bae. I get it, girl. I would have acted like it is bae, and I'll teach you how to be bae. And maybe all of your flaws of the past won't be there anymore. Yes, you used to make me dinner every night, and every day you would get up before me, and you would make me breakfast. And I'm just teaching you how to be a human, and I know everything, so you should trust me. But yeah, all we're left with is that hug at the end where she acknowledges he is not Kane. He says, oh, you must be Lena. I was like, wait, how does he know? I was confused about how faux Kane knew where real Kane lives and where Lena was and who Lena was. When Alien became faux Kane, did it copy certain memories, not all? Or did they like have a conversation? Look, I'm gonna be you now. I'm gonna mess with your mind and drive you crazy. So you're gonna like erase. But before I become you, I need information. I need to know, A, how to speak English, B, where do you live, C, what do I need to know to be you, D, where do you get your clothes? Oh my God, I'm going crazy. You're right. I should give you all this information. This is how you speak English. Here, just take it. It's in this part of my brain. Boom. This is where I live. 123 Cloverfield Lane. And I have a girlfriend named Lena. So if you see her, tell her I said, hey, boo. So be nice to her when you see her. And if you want some really fly fashion, I would suggest you go to Zara first and get some outfits. Okay, I think I'm gonna blow myself up now and just let you take my place. I've seen everything. I'm going crazy. Bye. Boom. Their eyes are mutating. The end. Sequel? Maybe? I don't think so. This felt like those kind of science fiction endings where they just want to be like, dun dun dun, is it over? Question mark. Open-ended. Okay, I think I've analyzed this movie to bits and pieces and I've asked a lot of questions and maybe some things are just plot flaws and maybe some things I just don't have the information to answer. If you have any thoughts, answers, suggestions, knowledge about science, physics, space, please, comment section. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Before you go, click on the like button, subscribe to Music Game News. If you're not sure about watching something, you want someone else to tell you whether it's worth watching or not, I'm here. Or if you've seen something and you want me to analyze it to bits and pieces like I just did, let me know in the comment section below. Again, thanks for watching. I'm an angel, or am I? Particles!